We say things that don't mean anything, but thanks for listening. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Say Things, episode 266, I believe. Suns fan here with Cinderin. Hi.
Yay.
What's up,
Hype.
juicy boy?
Yo. This is a rare episode. We were talking about this right before we started recording it, that for the first time in very long, we're both at home and neither of us just woke up.
That's right.
So that's pretty cool. My evening episodes are usually the latest possible or the earliest possible you can do. And the morning episodes for me are generally the earliest that I'm willing to do.
That's right.
So,
Well, the main reason for that is because one of us, won't name names, of course, is refusing to even look into getting soundproofing for their room. I wonder who that could be.
it's slightly more complicated than that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, anyway. Thank you to our beautiful patrons. Mechazor, Empire of Dirt, 10 out of 10 Goldblooms, Malicious Damage, Lakers in Cancun, that's right. Amish Toaster, wow guys, you had to cheat to beat Jenkins.
He's referring to a segment in Dreamleague, I'm guessing, where we were doing Guess the Rank, right?
How did we cheat?
And we were sitting next to each other, and there were like 3 rounds in a row that we had the same guess, but we were wrong all the time, so I don't really think it helped.
Yeah, that's true. And then when Jenkins switched spots, then he had the same answer as me. Shocker.
Yeah.
Crownfall Enjoyer, Suns Nugget Boy, STGC Daniel, Pepperballs, and T Coil.
And Vlad. Let's have Puppy on the podcast. Disco Farm D, The Mega Pope, Shark TM, Janie, Dop, Wooden Aftertaste, Anonymous, and the longest yarn ever spun by hand was over 130 kilometers, parenthesis, 81 miles, long. Mr. Niebling.
That's pretty incredible.
That is one of the least crazy facts, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
81 miles?
I know 130 kilometers is really long, but if you think about it, a testament to how long people are willing to do random stuff for, I think it is still crazy long, but it's less unbelievable than a lot of the other facts that we've had.
Fair enough.
It's still crazy, though. Imagine sitting there and spinning yarn for 130 kilometers.
True. It's been a while. Let's talk some NBA, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no.
The NBA playoffs have been... Well, obviously the Suns were not in it to begin with, so other than that, they have been unbelievable. The amount of comebacks, the amount of crazy games, the amount of buzzer beaters has been absurd. So the finals are ongoing right now. Oklahoma City was the number 1 seed in the NBA. They had by far the most wins. They're by far the biggest favorite to win. They're in the finals against Indiana, who were 4th in the East, which is like the lesser conference of the two. The thing is, Cinderin, this Indiana team have kind of like peaked at the perfect time. They have a very fun play style where they play super fast. They have a player named Tyrese Halliburton who was voted by players to be the most overrated player in the NBA. And he's in the finals now as their best player. And he has had the most historic clutch run in any playoffs. I'm just going to say ever. He has had in every series, so there's 4 series that you play to get to the finals, right? He has had a buzzer beater, or in the last 1 second or less, which is considered like the ultra clutch shot. He has gotten one to get them to either overtime or win the game in every series so far, which is unheard of. I think.
Is that possible? I
think he is, if I'm not mistaken, in the playoffs in these clutch moments is like 5 for 6 or whatever the stat is. Like he's almost not missed at all, which is absurd. Like there's usually like it's at 20% or something, right? So
I mean, it's also the fact that he has to get in that position 5 times.
Yeah, so that's
like
the thing.
How close are their games?
That's the thing, is they have had, I think, 4 15 or more point comebacks in the playoffs so far, which is also unheard of. And it feels like it just keeps happening again and again and again. It's like a storybook. This game 1 of the finals, it was the 3rd quarter. They were down 15, and I'm thinking to myself, should I keep watching this game? Because they have come back before. It just seems like surely it can't happen again. 4th quarter, there's like 4 minutes left. They're still down like 12. I'm like, all right, this is probably about over. And then they go on a crazy run. He hits a last second shot with 0.3 seconds left to go up 1 point. That was their only lead of the entire game. So the entire game, they led for 0.3 seconds and they steal game 1. So fucking cool. It has been extremely hype. And this is my dad's, obviously he was a Suns fan, the original.
Mhm.
But he was originally actually an Indiana Pacers fan because he's from Indiana, or was from Indiana, so he's a Hoosier. So this was always his like secondary team, so I'm definitely rooting for them. Plus, you know the Seattle Supersonics, Cinderin? Do you know anything about them?
By name?
You don't know any other fact about them?
Not really, I think.
So they used to be a historic franchise, and then they were moved by an owner that had just bought the team to Oklahoma City because he was from Oklahoma City. And the fans there have been bitter ever since. It's been 25 years. So for me, even though the players on Oklahoma City are likable, I can never root for them because of what they did to Seattle. It was really fucked up. So go Pacers. They're huge underdogs, though. I think they probably still lose the series, but I hope they win. It's going to be hype. So that's the update on the NBA. Very hype stuff.
Pretty much the most positive NBA segment we've ever had, except the one time the Suns were doing well.
No, that's not true. When the Suns are doing well, I'm like, yeah, we're going to fucking blow it. We're going to blow it.
That's actually true.
Yeah, it's because the Suns are not involved at all in the playoffs, and that's why it's positive. Cinderin. Should root for that more often, I guess.
Haven't you been in the finals once since we started doing the podcast? Am I remembering it wrong? And I think you were pretty stoked about that. I think you were very happy that they were in the finals,
happy,
right?
But at the same time, I knew what was going to happen. And I said it. Okay. Like, all right, we're up 2 games. How do we blow it now? Well, we do that by losing the next 4, of course, which is fucking typical. Okay, let's start with NBA Dota-related stuff.
Now, guys, it's been a good warm-up. It's time.
Let's have an encore.
Number 2, 739B NBA.
7.39B, this came out during Dreamleague as well, so we had 2 patches.
Yeah, so we did our patch breakdown while we were in Stockholm for Dreamleague. I think that was our last ep. It was like an hour and a half or 2 hours long. I don't really want to go into details very much with this, to be honest. It's like very small changes. It's a very early ladder patch. The gist of it is that they took what they had seen in 739, seemed a bit busted in Pro primarily, and a lot of heroes have been nerfed by like a few percentage points. There's no new content. There's no items that got added or removed or anything. It's numbers. Everything is numbers. And if there was a hero that was a major outlier in 739, it got nerfed, such as Omni Knight got nerfed, Nature's Prophet. I guess Doom was a little bit of an odd one out, but then Darkseer. It's
Kez.
Yeah, Kez again, which I don't even know what state he's in. Maybe he's good, maybe he's bad. Who knows? TA got nerfed again. She's still first pick. So in 738, she was banned every game or first picked. 739, she gets nerfed, is still first pick. 739B, she gets nerfed again and is still first pick. This hero in 738 was fucking ridiculous. And despite these nerfs, it is still great at a pro level.
Pretty crazy. And Terrorblade continues to exist somehow. Really happy about that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. I put this in the outline not for us to break down these numbers because honestly, it's very on the nose. There's nothing here where there's like an underlying theme or I wonder if they're trying to do this or that. This is literally hero X is a bit too good, nerf some aspect by 5%. That's pretty much all the way across the board for these heroes. So.
Yeah, who at Valve has a hard-on for Terrorblade? Like, seriously.
I don't know.
For me, and I've said this before, if there was, like, let's say I'm developing a game and there's a hero that is just picked in basically every game and every meta for years, guess what I would do? I would nerf it to the point where people are not picking it just to give a little bit of breathing room for something else to exist. I think it's okay to dumpster a hero just for a bit. Like, if it's been this prevalent, this is fucking ridiculous, man. Every time this gets picked in a game, what do I do in the green room?
You groan.
That's right. It's more than a groan. I say fuck really loud as well.
Yeah. And
But
then afterwards, people look at you and you're like, I have Tourette's. And then they just go back to what they're doing. So,
yeah, at this point, people don't turn around, right? So
it's like, wow, he didn't belch this time. Great. It's an improvement. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. To be honest with you, when we were in the green room, I was laughing at it because it kept getting picked all the time, and you kept having these like vitriolic reactions to it. But in all honesty, I have never liked Terrorblade's design in the history of the game. I think, to me, I've always stood by this for as long as I can remember. I don't like that this hero has 2 ults. It's always felt weird to have a carry, and now also support sometimes, but Metamorphosis and Sunder, one of them is the actual ulti. The other one feels like it should be the ulti of the hero, which it was in Warcraft 3 Dota. The original Demon Hunter ulti is Metamorphosis, right? It's from Warcraft 3 Melee itself. And then at some point that became just a regular spell. And I think as a result, this hero is really difficult to balance. Because you want Sunder to feel really impactful and be a cool ult. But if you have a spell like Metamorphosis that has 2.5 minutes cooldown, it has to be strong. So then inherently, when pro players get really good at playing around timings, guess what? A hero that has 2 ultis is really strong when its timings are hit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm a bit sick of it too. And to be honest, for me to get out of that mindset, I actually think the hero needs a rework before I'm like, fuck yeah. And that rework could be meta is half as good and the cooldown is shorter, for example. Then he's like a normal hero in a way. I don't know. Yep, we'll see if they ever do that, though. He's been this way forever, though. So don't really think they're going down that route. But yeah, that was that patch. Not too impactful, but I think they did a lot of things right. First go around with this ladder patch. So pretty good.
All right, let's talk about
Dreamleague.
Dreamleague.
Let's do predictions first.
Oh.
So I can fall even further behind on the leaderboard. I did have a little bit of a sneak peek at our picks this time, and this is pretty fucking bad.
Oh, nice.
So
I had no idea.
This is not great because you have a snipe this time.
Do I?
You do. Can you guess what your snipe is?
Did I say Bet Boom second?
No, you didn't have them in top 3.
Great. Paravision first?
Yes.
Okay.
You picked the correct winners. And what did I do? I picked a winner that got 5th, so that wasn't great. Okay, my picks were in order. First place, Gaming Gladiators. I do not get any points. They got 5th. I had Paravision in 2nd, so I get 1 point for that. And then I had Falcons in 3rd. Falcons got 9th, 10th.
Yeah,
so that was terrible. Crazy. My dark horse was Extreme. They got 11th, 12th. They needed to get top 4, so almost. And then my white donkey was Bet Boom, not top 6. They got 2nd. So I get 1 point for Paravision.
Good.
And then we have you, Paravision first place, 2 points for the snipe. Then you had Aurora in 2nd. They got 4th, so you're actually very close. And you had Falcons 3rd. Your dark horse, Navi Jr., top 6. They got 11th, 12th. And you had Liquid, bottom 8. They got 8th, so narrowly missed.
Oh, man.
So you still gain a point, though.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought I was going to gain a ton of points the way you made it sound. Jeez.
I thought you were getting more than 1. I just remember checking the Paravision. I thought you had something else right. But we were terrible, as usual. Yep. Congratulations, you get 2 points and I get 1.
Yeah, Falcons getting 9th, 10th is the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we can talk about our experiences at the tournament and then a little bit about stuff outside of the tournament that I have written down.
Yeah.
So for me, Dreamleague is a very interesting tournament. We worked mornings this time because I asked for it, because I needed to be on the same schedule as Jenkins for reasons we'll get to in later. It is the most grindy tournament ever. We did it once together last year, and it was the same thing. It's the only time I felt actually overworked, not to make it sound like, I appreciate the position we're in and all that. It's too much. 2 best of 3s a day for 13 or 14 days straight, no day off, is fucking absurd. It is so much, especially when a lot of the games go like 60 minutes. So that's the only real complaint that I have, is just too much, because by the end, and we talked about this, like the last 5 days specifically, I was so checked out. I think my casting was dog shit. It's just way too much. My brain was just fucking mush. Having said that, since I've said the negative, Dreamleague, the way that they set it up is amazing. The band is really cool. Production always lets us do basically whatever we want. The talent management is S double plus tier. It's the best of any organizer easily. Basically everything revolving. I mean, Sweden is, as much as I shit on them for not cutting their pizza, which is fucking ridiculous, by the way. I wake up randomly. I just think about it. And it makes me angry. I'm not even kidding. I'm literally not exaggerating. I get angry with the idea that people think it's okay to not cut the pizza. Fucking stupid. Other than that, though, Sweden's really nice. They put us in a hotel that's, okay, my bathroom light was broken the entire trip. The fact that I wasn't complaining about it just shows that I was very content in this situation, because it's like right next to a grocery store, right next to a coffee shop. It's like unbelievable location. Everything is great. Pizza cutting fucking sucks ass. Too many best of threes, Syndra.
Yeah. All right, so I'll just add a little bit of perspective.
Somebody's saying, just tell them to cut the pizza. Every single time we tell them to cut the pizza, all right? Not once.
Did you ask in Swedish, though?
Yeah, that's a good question.
There you go. That's what they needed to do that. But they ordered in English, so you're fucked. Okay. Yeah, just to give some more context on the whole workload thing, there's obviously a couple of things that go into this in terms of just luck. I will say, in terms of my overall memory of us casting tournaments together all time, I think this was the one that felt like the most work, especially, like you said, toward the end. Which part of it is slightly by design, because this time the format was a little bit different than in the past. Usually in the past Dream Leagues, there has been Group Stage 1, and then a tiebreaker day, and then Group Stage 2. This time, the last day of Group Stage 1 was half end of Group Stage 1, and then half tiebreaker. So that was merged into one, which means a potential off day / short day for tiebreakers got cut. So we went immediately into Group Stage 2. So there was no break day, which I'm sure the audience loves, that that's just games every day. But for us, it obviously means we don't get that breather. And then in when Group Stage 2 is over, there's actually a designated tiebreaker day, just like beforehand. That tiebreaker day had 2 BO3s because we had 2 ties, and we were covering both of them. So again, we didn't get a break day. So you and I think, if I had to guess, you and I probably had the most minutes on the mic out of anyone the entire tournament.
There's no way it's close.
Because not only did we cast the most series, but I think we also had the most series that went 3 games, and the most games that went about an hour. So we drew the short straw this time, fair and square. I think if you asked Cap and Avery, they thought this was not as hard as last Dream League for them. But I think for us, this one was definitely the most work. And obviously you can combat some of it with scheduling and adding an extra day or whatever, but there's also an element of RNG. The patch that dropped in the middle of the tournament, for 2 or 3 days, the games were just longer because the teams didn't get their timings right.
Well,
were struggling to go high ground.
I would say that for me was a plus mostly.
It was a plus mostly, but we got a lot of long games and BO3s going 3 games because of it.
I just remember the first couple days of casting, it felt like we were casting a tournament from 6 months ago. I mean, obviously that's an exaggeration, but it felt like, we've cast this 100,000 times already. And then this patch comes out, and the games are longer, but it shakes shit up. We have more things to talk about. It makes things just more interesting. So I was very thankful for that happening.
I think, so we talked to one of the guys in charge of the product, and he said this time, if I remember correctly, he said previous Dream League, the best of threes, 40% of the BO3s went to 3 games. This time it was 60. So over the course of 2 full weeks with a lot of games, obviously Group Stage 1 is BO2s, so there we're guaranteed to only have 4 games. But as soon as you get into Group Stage 2, which lasts a full week of 2 BO3s,
I would say
think every day almost.
The reason for that is because we had less of the powerhouse teams.
We were missing Spirit and Tundra, right?
So Spirit, Tundra, and then I would argue, and I know, Falcons, I'm not saying they're losing on purpose or anything like that, but there's less incentive to do well when you already have everything wrapped up. Like, this is not going to be an important tournament for them.
I think they were just a bit burned out. To be honest.
And probably that on top of it. So it makes sense why there was more 3-game series.
And they're also, if I remember correctly, they're skipping Valachia to take a break because they've played like every tournament this year. So they're just sitting one out, which is coming up in 2 weeks, I think, ish. Yeah, 2 weeks. So that was Dream League. As we alluded to, I mentioned the top 3. Or rather, I only mentioned top two actually because neither of us predicted Talon for anything, whether it was White Donkey, Dark Horse, or placement or anything. Talon got third, which to me was one of the best stories of the whole tournament. Was that SEA has
True.
a team again that does well. So I'm really hopeful that Talon can continue to be competitive because as of late, Pro Dota is literally Western Europe and Eastern Europe, and then an occasional Chinese performance, right? If SEA can put some top threes on there, this time Yakult Brothers from China got sixth, which I think is their best result in an international tournament. So they also look quite good for a lot of it. Yeah, I'm just hoping that globally the teams get better. And I think this is actually a pretty... No, never mind. We're not going to segue that because we have more Dream League stuff still. I finally got to get you back because I was going to get you a dinner because I lost the $100 bet from last year. And then we added a little bit on top of that because when we were in Raleigh, you were spotting me for you spotted me for like one or two regular dinners, and you spotted me for pickleball and whatnot. Pickleball. So I was like, all right, I'll take you somewhere. And we had already been here before, both you and I. Yeah. I suggested we could either take this place, which you knew, or there was a 1-star Michelin place that it looked possible to get a table at. And you picked the steakhouse, which we both had been at before and really liked. And then I think you will tell your side of the story of what that was like, because I have a feeling that this is going to be
okay. So this was all on Cinderin, of course. Let me show the first photo, Cinderin.
Oh, you have pictures ready.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So this one.
All right.
Unfortunately, I focused on the wrong thing. Yeah, it should have been on the meat.
Yeah, we should have actually got this for free with that background.
So the meat, can you remind me what it was? Is it Kobe?
This was Kobe, yeah. Very thinly sliced. So the way it's presented is on you got it on like a little tree essentially with like 2 branches, and it was hanging from there.
Yeah. So it was like eating lunch meat kind of, but very, very high quality meat. And how much was this? Do you remember? This was like an appetizer.
Yeah, it was an appetizer. Oh, how much was that? Was it $45? I think
it was quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe is extremely expensive.
No, I understand that.
It's a delicacy.
I would say that it was good, but I would never spend $45 on this. No fucking question. Because it's not very much food. Like this was like what, 8 of these little pieces, very thinly sliced.
I think it was 50 grams. It was effectively $1 a gram, right? I think it was 50 grams for $50 ish.
Yeah. So
which is honestly, that's kind of market price for Kobe at a restaurant. So there wasn't even like super steep pricing for what it was.
It was good, not amazing though. Mm-hmm. You were paying, so I didn't care about the price. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten it. Okay, and then we got. So typically, I like fillets, no bone. That's usually my go-to, and I had one last time, and it was good. So I'll just say this: the steak that I've had, and maybe it's just been unlucky. The steak I've had in Europe has not even remotely compared to what I've gotten in the U.S. for whatever reason. Like in the U.S. Like for me, a high-end steak, and I know that everybody's gonna have a different threshold. Like if we go to a fancy place, we have a couple that we like that we go to like maybe once, maybe twice a year. A steak is like $70, and it's fucking like blows your mind. It's so good. So when we went to this place, actually Gork bought our meal last time, so I actually don't remember how much the steak was, but it was a fillet.
That's right, he got the whole table.
And it was good, don't get me wrong, but it's like it doesn't remotely compare to the US. So this time I just wanted to try something different. So what did we get? I'm going to show the picture. There you are.
Yeah.
We shared a steak.
So we got a Wagyu ribeye on the bone. Yeah, this should have also been free with that guy in the background, but unfortunately not the case. So yeah, obviously with what you like with the fillet, just to clarify, this wasn't I asked if you wanted to go for this and you said yes. So
no, I don't blame you for anything. No,
you're partially responsible if you don't like ribeye and we get ribeye.
Well, that's the thing. Like I used to think back in when I was a kid, I just didn't like steak because the only time I've had it is like at fucking Denny's or something, right? It's just like shit quality. And I finally was introduced to like high-end steaks in the US. I'm like, okay, these are fucking good, but it's always been filet. So I actually didn't know. I know I don't like fatty meat generally, but you said this is a less fatty one, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, so ribeye generally it really depends, right? So if you get a ribeye, it can be very fatty and it can be less fatty, but generally there's at least parts of the ribeye that are less fatty. This one was, I would say the majority of it was quite fatty and it was very marbled, right? It was like heavily marbled. So I think within the domain of high-end ribeye, this is probably less of your thing. I'm not going to say based on this that you will not like ribeye in general, but it's not a fillet, right? It's a different cut entirely. I think I suggested that we could get a porterhouse because I think they had that, because the porterhouse is divided with like two separate parts, right? And then one of the parts you will like more than the other, which is a bit more of a mix. But
so can you tell
Wagyu
everybody
itself,
how much this
Wagyu
steak
itself.
was?
This steak was 800 grams on the bone, right? So that's including the bone. How much was this? Was it $300? I think.
I thought it was 250, but we can go 300.
It might have been 250.
Or maybe
I think,
maybe
yeah,
you're
it
right.
was I think you're right. It was about 250. I think 260 maybe.
$260.
But we shared it, so it was 130 per. Right,
which
so this
is
was
again, that's about twice what I normally pay for what I would consider a high-end steak in the U.S. And for me, and again, I know I'm not a big fan of like the fatty stuff. This was significantly worse. Like I wouldn't have paid $30 for this, literally.
I think it's a matter of, I think if you're the type of person that really likes this type of meat, it was very good for what it was, but it's not your cup of tea. So I thought it was great. I didn't think it was great value because I think you can get something comparable.
Have you had high-end steak in the U.S.?
Yes, I think I had my first porterhouse in New York, and it was fucking amazing.
So, is there? Have I just been unlucky, or would you say steak in the U.S. on average, like the high-end stuff, is just better? Like, because I think the only steak that I've had that was fucking amazing, that was outside the U.S. was Singapore. That Michelin star.
So good. Oh my god, that was so good.
Whose restaurant was that? That's what's his name?
Wolfgang.
Was it Wolfgang Puck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was Puck's Steakhouse in Singapore.
So fucking good. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I think in terms of like value, you can get something that's like 80 to 90% as good at this for half the price. So it's a matter of whether you think the last 10% is like, mwah, you know, very amazing or not.
Yeah.
And you need to like heavy marbling and what Wagyu is, because a lot of the time for these like higher end Wagyu or Kobe cuts, it's very fatty and very marbled meat. And it sounds like that's not so much your thing. So I think for you, it just doesn't really make sense. I really like the fatty parts of meat. So I really like porterhouse. I really like ribeye. I really like Wagyu steaks. So I thought it was good, but it's not the best I've had, which means by extension, it was not as good value as other stuff, right? But that's right. Someone in your chat is saying it's called Cut by Wolfgang Puck. That's where we went in Singapore. Indeed.
So good.
But yeah, it was unfortunate that this wasn't exactly your kind of steak. The other stuff I think was nice though. The sides that it came with, the starter that we had. I had a starter which was I had bone marrow with what was it? I had everybody else who had it at the table loved it except you. I don't even know if you tried it. I think the texture was not your thing, right?
Yeah, it's like eating a booger. Like I just can't be on board with that, man.
It was bone marrow with tartare and mustard, and then it came with bread, which is a traditional way of serving that. It's so fucking good. I love it. That was really good. That was probably the best value thing they had.
Nobody I've ever met loves starters as much as you. I admire that about you. It's always your favorite part of the meal. It's all downhill from there, feels like.
I mean, I love when I go out to eat, I love to have multiple different things because for me, a big part of the experience is just trying different foods. And if I go to another country I've never been to, I love trying local stuff, delicacies I've never had. I think there's only literally one thing that I may have been offered that I might have turned down that I can remember, which was balut in the Philippines.
Oh, the duck thing? The embryo?
Yeah, I think I may have been offered that, and I said no thanks, but I'm not sure. But that is genuinely the only thing that comes to mind where I might have said no.
Would you try fermented shark?
Yeah, unless it's like, if it's like unethical, then no. But, you know, it's always a gray area with stuff like that, right? But,
well, you could argue veal is unethical, right?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, right? So it's like, okay, where do you draw the line? But like, let's say it's animals that are protected, right? Where it's like, oh, it's a delicacy because this is illegal to hunt or whatever. Then I would, not do that. But
So humans off the table now.
yeah, unfortunately, otherwise I would have eaten purge 5 years ago at least. But yeah, not the case. I'm sure it's like
Either
really
way, thank
nice.
you for the meal, Cinderin.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it wasn't like a bad experience or anything, because I think we went to one Michelin star a while back where I thought it was a bad experience, the one with the bad drinks.
Yeah, the one in Berlin, right?
And it's like, if there's a steak, I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna be full. I'm gonna be happy. Like, but I am picky. I'll admit, I'm quite picky.
That's fair enough.
So it is what.
But
it
I
is at
think,
this
you know,
point.
if when we go the next time, I think there's something. It's just such a gamble, right? Because if you only like specific things, it's hard to take you to like a set menu thing and get 7 courses or whatever instead. And then maybe you really like 2 of them and you think 3 are meh and 2 are okay. It's like, is that worth it?
I would be more open to that if it wasn't for the fact that I'm like, you get there, they have this set meal, and you say, I can't eat cream. Does that ruin?
You can ask in advance.
No, I understand that, but does that ruin the whole fucking meal then? Like, how much of the cream carries these Michelin star restaurant? Like, that's what's
that
annoying.
really depends what you're getting, right? That's a bit of RNG almost. Even a given restaurant might have 0 dishes with cream
Now,
1/4 of the year, and then the next they have 3, right?
Having said that, since we're talking
varies.
about food and this is going on way longer than I was expecting, I want to show one more picture, but I haven't sent it to Nikki so I can put it on the podcast yet, because that's how I do things now.
Okay.
Because we can blame Google for not making it easy. Okay. It's good. We went to another restaurant with everybody.
Yep.
And one moment. This is where I had actually good steak. I was very happy with the steak overall. Okay, here we go. All right. So this, what you're looking at, is a mostly, I wouldn't say it was raw. It was
medium rare, actually, when you got it, I think.
I think it was a little more rare than medium rare, but either way.
In between, yeah.
It was seared steak, and they give you this big stone, this hot stone that is just on your, like this smorgasbord or whatever. And apparently it stays piping hot for, they said 3 to 4 hours, which is fucking insane. So you cut the steak in pieces, and you put a little salt on the stone, and you cook it yourself. Now, when I say cook, I mean you put it down for like a second and a half, and then you turn it second and a half, and then it's good. That was a cool experience. I've never, like, obviously I've had like Korean barbecue and things like this. This is like totally different though. To cook your own steak, I really liked it. The sauces I got, there's like 10 sauces. I chose 2, didn't particularly like them, but didn't need it. Like, I didn't need them at all for the steak, so I wasn't really too annoyed by that. But yeah, this was
I'm seeing a decent amount of negativity in your chat. I will say this picture does not do the cut justice. On this, it does not look very good. I will say that.
Okay.
The meat itself on here.
Sorry for taking bad pictures, guys.
No, I'm just. It's because this is before you sliced, right? This is before your first cut, and once you cut into it, it looks a lot better on the inside. And yeah, like you said, you literally.
I
just
do
put
have
it on
a
the stone
video.
itself for
I'm
like
not gonna put the fucking video on. You can see you see these little things up here, guys. That's my little packets of lactate that I take. If I'm a little iffy on something I'm eating, I forget what I ate as an appetizer, but it had a white sauce in it.
You had some sort of taco, right?
Oh yeah, that was so strange. It was a taco with no meat, and it was just like filled with sour cream. It was just sour cream, as far as I could tell. I mean, it was fine. It's just like
sour cream is some sort of fish, I think.
There was no fish. No, I wouldn't have eaten it if there was fish.
I don't know.
No way.
I didn't have it, so I had some tartare thing.
Yeah, this was really good.
Yeah, this was nice. This place was called Blackstone, and it was a lot less pricey than the other place. This is like slightly on the pricey end, but not nearly the same ballpark as the other one. I think this. What was I think this main that you're seeing here, the fries, the meat, the sauces, and the stone and everything, it's like $45 in total, I think, for all of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like this was like 1/4 the price of the steak that I had.
Yeah. I will say there was a difference in quality, though. There was definitely there is a difference, but this is a lot more your thing. And I also thought this was very good. But it's not like the other place was scamming you, is what I'm trying to say here. Like that cut they made there was
All right, I'm putting on a video.
something else, but
hopefully this works. There we go. I'm gonna turn off the sound. Okay, Sheever's over there. Here's the meat. Okay, that looks better now, doesn't it? And I do a terrible job of framing this, so I apologize. I'm a really bad cameraman. I probably put it on a little too long there, but there we go.
Yeah.
Terrible framing again. And a lot of times it looks like that looks almost well done. I promise you it was not. It was not. Yeah. But really fucking good. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
That was a good place. I definitely recommend people to try that. Also, if nothing else, for the experience, right? It's something else. It's fun to try new stuff.
All right, so Jenkins again. I wanted to leave the Jenkins picture out. I just want to tell a quick story about my trip home. It was terrible. I've had some bad trips home. This was I'm not going to include the ones as a kid where I vomited on the plane or whatever because I don't remember any of it. As an adult, this is the third worst trip I've had back home. Oh. First was China, which took 50 hours. Nothing's going to beat that. Second, God, I can't remember. Anyway, I remember thinking about this, and this was third. So third, so I get on the plane. I'm very careful with my flight selection because getting to Phoenix can sometimes be annoying. So flight was Sweden to London, London to Phoenix. That's like the dream flight to get is London to Phoenix. So get on my flight to Sweden or to London, and before we take off, I'm not even noticing this because I have my headphones on. There's like a delay of some sort. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I look up, and there's paramedics in the plane. Some guy's like, I don't know what the issue is. I thought he was having a heart attack or something. So they get on the plane, and they start talking to the guy. They talk to him for 40 minutes. 40. Okay? After they've talked to him, I'm like, okay, they're going to bring a stretcher out. He gets up and starts walking out of the plane with them. So 40 minutes of talking to him, just get up on his own accord and walk out the plane. So I'm like, okay, fuck me. That's 40 minutes. I'm going to have issues with I'm stressed out about making my connection because it's only a 2-hour layover. It's like a pretty quick one. And the London airport can be pretty annoying because they have to go through a bus to get to another terminal. Then from there, I'm like, all right, so we should be able to take off now, surely. It takes another 40 minutes to take off because they have to refuel. Like, we've literally been sitting here. Why do you need a fucking refuel for? They refuel, then they enter the queue again. Like, apparently we don't get to go ahead of line because we're behind. So we're delayed by like an hour and a half. I'm like, this is like, I would have to run to my next connection. So they actually make up some time because they go faster. So I'm there with an hour delay instead of an hour and a half. So I'm like, okay, I have an hour to get to my flight. It's boarding in 20 minutes. This is going to be tough. Moment I get off, they're like, you're not on this flight anymore. I'm like, what the fuck? And at first I was scared that it'll be the next day because it's usually very few flights. We're like, okay, you only have to wait 4 hours for this flight to Phoenix. I'm like, okay, honestly, that could be worse. That sucks ass, but it could be a lot worse. So I don't have to stress anymore. So I get on the plane for London, and the issue is, or from London to Phoenix, the issue is I've lost all of my upgrades, right? And like I said, I get these seats up front in the exit row, so I have all this leg room because I'm fucking 6'1", I'm fucking morbidly obese. Like these planes,
exaggeration.
These planes they kill me. They absolutely fucking kill me. It's an 11-hour flight. So I lose this upgrade, and now I haven't even done it yet. I have to call and try to get a refund somehow, but that's going to be a pain in the ass, I'm sure. So I get on the flight, and lucky me, the only seats available are middle seats. Like, okay, that's really fucking great. Middle seat for 11 hours. Hopefully, I'm not sitting next to somebody that's fat. Sit in my seat. Lo and behold, both sides, morbidly obese. Not fucking exaggerating. Both sides of me are fat guys. Okay? And the guy on my left,
flying to Phoenix.
the guy on my left, he might have had some issues. I'm not sure. He kept, I'm like, going on this flight, I'm okay. At the worst, or the one benefit of being in middle seat is you get both armrests. That's the rule. I even ChatGPT'd it just to see if this is something I made up in my head or if it was real. ChatGPT confirmed my suspicion. Middle seat sucks ass. That's why they get both armrests. That's the only benefit. Guy on my left, Wasn't having anything of it. He kept putting his arm on my armrest, and I kept like slowly trying to inch him away. It was just all for naught,
Mr.
it seems.
Bean segment. That's amazing.
And he kept, I don't know, this was kind of triggering. It was daytime the whole trip, 11 hours. All the windows were closed. Every like 8 to 9 minutes, he would open the window and just fucking blast me with the sun. I'm trying to sleep. Just to make sure we're in the air or something. I don't know what the fuck. Like every 10 minutes, opens this shit up, blinds me, puts it back down. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's really great. So, and then halfway through the flight, there is, and again, I've been on a lot of flights. This is the worst turbulence I've experienced. It was a 10-minute period of the plane. Like they had to stop service on like serving food. It was to the point where I was profusely sweating, like a cold sweat, like feeling sick to my stomach. So that was really awful. Then we land. I'm like, praise fucking God. Like this was such a disastrous trip. Obviously could have been worse. And then, you know, to adding insult to injury, I'm in the back of the plane, super far back. And they're like, oh, there's a 15-minute delay. We have to sit here on the runway now. I'm like, great. That's terrific. Could be worse. And then lo and behold, wait 1 minute, take my headphones off, proceed to hear somebody 2 rows behind me profusely vomiting to the point where they are literally gurgling they're choking on their vomit, where people around me are actually gagging from the sound of this guy puking his fucking guts out. Okay? That's my experience. Fucking
sounds more and more like a Mr. Bean skit by the minute.
The only thing that went right is they didn't lose my luggage, which I was worried about because of, you know, missing the initial connection. So could have been worse, Cinderin, but it was pretty fucking bad. But I'm not jet lagged, so maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking. So I talk about the pizza thing where Swedish people don't. I keep thinking about that they don't cut their pizza. I also keep waking up thinking of this guy vomiting in his mouth, just gurgling. I cannot get the sound out of my head.
I mean, maybe there was something in the air after that really helped combat your jet lag. It's like it grounds you, you know?
Yeah, so I need to hear more people vomiting to get over jet lag.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So moving on. TI qualifier.
I'm happy you made it home in one piece and you kept it all inboard. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take us through TI quals.
Yeah, let's do predictions on this, okay? For our score systems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For all regions?
We'll keep it really simple. Yeah, we'll do all regions. Of course, this comes with the asterisks that Eastern Europe and South America are currently playing already, but we're entering overall TI qualifier season. It's going to be running until around halfway through this month. I think the longest ones go until the 17th, which is Western Europe and SCA. They start the latest. They start on the 13th, so in a week. North America has 1 slot. South America has 1. Western Europe has 2. Eastern Europe has 1. China has 1. And Southeast Asia have 2. So a total of 8 slots from qualification. So the way I imagine this, there's 6 regions. We take turns at predicting, and we cannot pick the same team.
Oh, come on.
The only exception
is this your Europe fucking... This is your comeback mechanic?
What? No, because we take turns. So in half the regions, you get first pick, so I can't pick that. So if it's like a gimme region, you just win that, right?
Fine. I'll let it slide.
So whoever first pick in North America does not first pick in South America, etc.
Okay.
The only exception is Europe and SCA because there's 2 slots. We're allowed to pick the same teams if we want, but we cannot pick the same placements.
Okay.
And in Western and we'll get to that. Okay, let's start with NA. So NA has 8 teams, which is of course powerhouses Shopify Rebellion and Wildcard.
BSJ and friends, and there's no BSJ.
Chased by Yoro Ryudan, 4 anchors plus Dota Sama, Team Slayers, TT Team, which has 4 Chinese players. That's interesting. BSJ and friends, and C-Dub Esports. Who is your pick to take North America?
Well, there's 2 choices, so 50-50 here. I'm going to go with Shopify Rebellion, Cinderin.
Okay. Can you guess who I am now going to pick?
You are going to pick Wildcard.
That is correct. All right, what an amazing region this shall be. I wish them the best of luck. You get 2 points for a correct prediction here.
Oh, of course, more
Just
comeback mechanic for you. Good.
It's the same for both of us. What are you talking? You can just cement it here, and it's just over. All right, next up, South America. So I
look
get
at
first
this.
pick on this.
Look at this logo for Team Sin Compromiso.
Yeah, that's a nice logo.
That's fucking awesome.
So this region is a lot tougher. There's Heroic, OG, Latam, Edge, Team Den, Team Sin Compromiso, which is Parker and Dark Mago and Sacred's team, and Panda, for that matter. Infamous, All-Stars, Veritas Brothers, Team DK, and Sustancia X. So realistically speaking, the current teams in the upper bracket as of this moment are, to nobody's surprise, OG Latam, Edge, Heroic, and Sin Compromiso. So out of those four, it's actually tough. I will pick... I'll pick Heroic, but I don't feel confident about this.
Okay, so you pick Heroic, which is what I would have picked. I'm not going to pick Edge.
Okay.
Do I pick OG?
So OG Latam is K1, Taelong, Eilich, El Misho, and Moose. And Sin Compromiso is Parker, Dark Mago, Sacred, Genek, and Panda.
I'll go OG. Latam.
Right. OG Latam. All right, next up is Western Europe.
How many slots?
So this one has 2 slots. Nigma Galaxy, Mouse Sports, OG, Avulus, One Win Team, Navi Junior, 4 Pirates, Team Secret, Virtus Pro, and Yellow Submarine. You're number 1 and 2.
Oh, so we don't go alternating order? I just pick both?
You pick both and then I pick both, but whatever slot you put a team in, I cannot put the team in the same one. In this one, because there's 2 slots, let's do 1 point per correct one instead of 2, because there's 2 slots.
Okay. There's only 3 teams I'm considering here.
Okay.
It's between Nigma, Navi Junior, and VP.
Okay.
I'll say Navi Junior first.
Okay.
Nigma Galaxy second.
Okay. So I cannot pick the same in the same spots then. Do I want to invert that? I'm not sure I do. I think Celery might have cooked for this.
Okay.
So I am going to pick... But do they get first or second, though, Mouse Sports? I do want to pick them. I think I might pick Mouse and Avulus, actually.
Wow.
Or... This is a really hard one to call, actually, because I don't think any of these teams are, like, truly top tier.
VP,
but I think realistically, there's, like, 6 of these teams that could win.
Yeah.
I think Virtus Pro is not out of the question. That roster has some really good players. Secret is a wild card right now, but they have some solid players, too. Puppy finally got some bangers in there. It's been a while. I will pick... All right, I'm picking Mouse second. I've settled for that.
Okay.
And my first place will be... How good is Warwick on Avulus? That's my big question mark. Nah, fuck it. I'm picking VP.
Okay.
Okay. So that's Western Europe. Then we have Eastern Europe, which is 1 slot between Aurora,
Damn it.
Navi,
Damn it.
One Move,
Fuck.
Liga, Nemiga, Cyber Goose, Runa, Kalmichata, E-Spoiled, and Quantum. And currently, the upper bracket final is set to be Aurora versus Navi. And teams still remaining in the lower bracket are Liga, Nemiga, One Move, and Cyber Goose. Navi's team is Uragi, Copy, Boom, Ari, and Kaori, and Aurora needs no introduction. They just play Dreamleague.
Go ahead and pick Aurora. Get your freebie.
Do I get first pick here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get first pick. I mean, I would be dumb not to pick Aurora, so I'll do that.
Okay, well, I'll just go Navi, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had Ari on the team.
Yeah, I mean, this could get interesting, honestly. Yeah. It's definitely not... I don't think this is a gimme for Aurora, but I definitely think they should be heavy favorites. for what it's worth, I also think in NA Shopify should be heavy favorites against Wildcard. So I think
True.
we're kind of even on that.
True.
All right, China's next. China get one slot. Yakult Brothers, Extreme Gaming, Azure, Excel Esports, Vici Gaming, which is a banging lineup. Now it's Paparazzi, Ori, Yang, Kaka, and DY. They won Open Qualifier 1. Tearlaments, Future Esport, and Team Curtain. What a nice name. Your pick.
Extreme.
Okay. That didn't take much thought.
No, Yakult, if they win the Chinese, I mean, they were fucking horrific in Dreamleague. They're just really
Extreme,
bad.
you mean?
No, Yakult were. I didn't get to cast Extreme.
I mean, Yakult got 6th and Extreme got...
I don't care what they got. I'm telling you, their quality of play was unbelievably bad. So I refuse to pick them.
All right. I will pick...
Go for Vici.
Yeah, I guess. I'll pick Vici Gaming.
So Paparazzi's name is
China,
Kikyo?
Yeah. I mean, China internally is always interesting because the the international scene does not reflect how China goes a lot of the time. It's not necessarily the best team internationally that wins in China, if that makes sense. Like internally, they just beat each other in different ways. All right. Finally, we have SEA with 2 slots, and I get to go first. The participating teams are Talon,
God damn it,
Boom Esports, Cast Awake, Trailer Park Boys, Ivory.
We can choose the same. You said when there's 2,
we can choose the same, but not in the same position.
Okay.
Ivory, Execration, Interactive Philippines, Tech Free Gaming, Team Nemesis, and Copite.
So wait, how do the points work then? If Talon gets first and I pick them second, do I get a point?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, if we both pick the same but in opposite order, there needs to be a bonus, right? This was not thought through on my part.
Yeah.
What should we do? Because I think we will pick the same teams here. I think we will both pick Talon and Boom, right?
I mean, you never know with Execration. No, that's what I would pick.
Probably. We both want Talon and Boom, right? So I will pick Talon to win, and I will pick Boom in second. And you will do vice versa.
Yeah.
So do we just say you get 1 point per, and then if you get both correct, you get a bonus point for perfect placement, which you then cannot get if I get it. Does that make sense?
Sure, Cinderin. I'll give you your comeback mechanic.
If it turns out that Boom wins and Talon gets second, you get 1 more point, and if Talon gets first and Boom gets second, I get 1 more point. So it's only one extra, and it's the same in Western Europe.
Yeah.
Which also means, by extension, that in Western Europe, where we don't have the same teams at all, if any of us snipes it, you get 3 points instead of 2.
Right.
So if Navi Junior win and Nigma gets second, you get 3 points too.
Okay, that's fine.
Looking through this, I don't think I will catch up much on this, and it wasn't even planned as a catch-up.
You did have... No, this is a catch-up for you because the North America and... Which one was it that we said traded? South America.
North America and South America.
So that's a wash, theoretically.
No, North America and Eastern Europe, I think, trade, if anything. Aurora,
okay,
right?
Sure. But then you get the advantage on SEA now.
Yeah, and which one did you get? You got Western Europe, which is a lot harder. Yeah.
Slight advantage.
Maybe
for
a slight.
That's
maybe
fine.
A slight advantage.
You need it. You need a handicap here.
How many points am I behind? 7?
You need all the help you can
You're
get.
You're leading 19 to 12. You do realize how many points 7 points are, right?
I don't want to blow a lead like the OKC Thunder did in the NBA Finals, Cinderin. Okay.
I'll try my best to come back. All right. Those are the predictions. They're locked in. And of course, these games are some of them already running. And the final qualifier game will be played on, what was it I just said? I closed the tab. I forgot which date it was. The final game is played on the 17th of June. All the qualifiers will be over. Okay.
All right. Final thing. Relic Arena trailer. Ignore all these ASMR videos on the right side, guys. Don't mind me. Let me turn on theater mode so that doesn't show up. Looks more sexual than it actually is. So... We had a trailer for the OTK Expo. So the OTK is like a streamer group essentially, and they have this show that they put on twice a year where they have trailers and interviews and just content for a bunch of games that are coming out, usually indie games, and we were chosen as one of them. So our trailer was put out, and obviously our game is not out yet, but it has like a wish list that was supposed to call people to. So I'm just going to play the trailer here, if that's okay, Cinderin, in its entirety. It's 1.5 minutes. You okay with that, Cinderin?
I am. I've watched it before, and I can watch it again.
Here we go.
Introducing a free-to-play auto battler from the unhinged minds of Dota legends Suns
Just make it
Fan
better
and
quality.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Battle in arenas of great significance. Play as leaders that had profound impact throughout history, such as Abraham Lincoln,
4 and I'm gonna you up.
Cleopatra,
Bow to me, or come closer and whisper your surrender.
Harambe. Don't buy units like in other garbage auto battlers, you get them for free. Instead, purchase from many historic relics to equip on your heroes. Oh, that's a little too much cleavage for this trailer. Change that assassin into a tank. Much better. Now let's equip him with some historic relics. Go ahead and try a Trojan shield, and perhaps boxing gloves. And maybe a Kevlar vest? Now we need something truly remarkable. Wait, is there seriously a toilet in this game? Purchase more of the same relic to get upgrade paths. Max it out to get a juicy power spike. Juicy? Like the F1 rocket engine, which summons the f***ing moon. Build your own heroes. Create countless combinations. Defeat your opponents. Mock your enemies.
You suck ass.
Relic Arena, taking auto battlers to the next level. Wishlist on Steam now.
Okay, that's the trailer. So, like I said, the trailer was made for the expo, and it was to get people to wishlist the game, even though it's not out yet or anything like that. We just thought it was a good opportunity to, get the word out there and get something. Well, I think I use it also as an excuse to redo the store page, because our store page looks like shit. It looks much better now, so it's much more polished, and finally have like an official trailer, so that's nice. It is Effie doing the voice of Cleopatra. The gorilla was it's a voice actor we use. His name is Travis from back in the day. Let's see what else.
It was Abe Lincoln.
Oh yeah, Abe Lincoln was a friend of Travis's, so an actual like voice actor.
Okay.
Let me scroll through. What did I forget?
Well, you narrated the thing.
Yep, that was me, of course. I mean, that's obvious. Harambe will be in the game. He's not currently in the build right now, but he will be. Cleopatra was just put into the build recently. And let's see, a lot of cleavage, of course, really important to point that out. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to put this trailer together. And I guess I can just quickly update. So we've been in closed alpha this whole time for like over a year now. And the closed beta, we're planning on having that next week. So probably like Thursday-ish. That means
big news for a lot of backers, right? Get in at that stage.
Yeah, so anybody that's Kickstarter that has like the beta thresholds, which means all the friends will get access as well. So we're going to have a lot more people playing, which is great. Obviously, we need to set expectations that, the game's not done yet. We don't want it streamed or anything like that. Has zero progression / monetization right now, which I think a lot of people don't realize how important progression is to games in general. The way I look at it, it's kind of like Dota in its like second year, Dota 2. Mm-hmm. It was in beta for like 4 or 5 years or whatever it was. So it was missing how many heroes? So
right.
I guess that equivalent would be we're missing, we have 60 relics, which are spells in the game, and we want 100. So still a ways away, but it's very playable. It's looking a lot more polished. But yeah, very excited, Cinder. So usually I don't fiend this kind of stuff, but I was really interested because Jenkins and I had to stream. That was part of the agreement. Is we did the. God, I'm such a shit streamer. I don't know the names of it. What
stream?
What? Co-stream.
The co-stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I've ever co-streamed anything. It's just literally watching the entire event. So afterwards, I went back and I looked at the reaction of some of the big streamers who I don't know, by the way. I looked at the numbers that they had. Like, okay, this must be a big streamer. So, of course, I have heard of some of them. So, like Forsen, obviously, I knew who that was already.
He probably said, okay.
He said he would play it. I know he's into auto battlers, so he'd play it. Soda Poppin said it looked fun, which was great. And then the biggest, why can I never fucking remember this guy's name? Who's the biggest streamer? Yes, Asmongold. The moment the trailer came on, he went to the bathroom. And once he came back, the trailer was over. But the chat was very positive. He's like, oh, this is the best one yet. You should check it out. He said he would. Of course, he didn't. Don't think it's his type of game anyway. It was just all about getting the eyes on his, the viewers and whatnot. So the two things. So overall, the reaction that we got and like the wish list, it was very good. The one negative, which I don't know if it was a meme. I didn't check it out for like all the other trailers, but a lot of the comments were like, "Oh, that's AI. That's AI."
Right.
Which I was a bit worried about because like these little sections here where we have the leaders speak. This is not AI, by the way. We have 0 things that are AI in the game. Anything that we've used for AI in the past is just like placeholder images, which aren't in the game anymore, or I just use it to brainstorm, really.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, this was, I think Nikki tweeted something out actually showing the artist like mimicking or making the mouth move, but I can understand why people think that's AI. It is not. They asked us ahead of time because I don't think the game would have been allowed to be shown if it had AI. So squashing those rumors. But again, I don't know if that was just a meme that they just, anything that pops up, they say that. So wasn't sure. But anyway, yeah, positive experience. It was really cool. Kind of opening us
to a shitload of wish lists, which was great.
Yeah, so we got a lot of wish lists, which is awesome. So good shit.
And ultimately, one of the, like we talked about this in person as well at Dreamleague, but one of the big advantages you guys have when you're releasing this game is obviously something that a lot of devs would kill for, is that you guys have a network of people that are already eager and want to play and stream your game. That's where other devs are paying a lot of money to get streamers to stream their game, and now you have big streamers saying, this looks fun, I want to play. And
so that's the thing that's like
awesome.
So that's not just with like the reaction from the OTK thing, but, and maybe I'm just a bad salesman, it's been really weird to not get offers for funding, which I know it's a bad time. Like this last year has been really bad for funding games, but, and kind of piggybacking with the conversation we had, like we literally have how many streamers now that, not the OTK related ones, like just Arteezy as an example, huge fucking streamer who wants to stream our game. He's been begging me for a key. I'm going to be giving him one. Like we have so many people that are just friends with us or just like our shit that it's shocking to me that other like publishers or investors don't find value in that somehow. It's like, this is
maybe they don't know.
Well, I tell them, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like it's literally
if you reach out, sure.
It's just strange. It's like that. This is something you'd pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for as like just a random company. But because we are fortunate enough to have these connections, like it's not something we don't need to pay for, which is awesome.
Maybe it's one of those things where if they're investors and then they hear that stuff all the time and then it's not true, or people overstate what they have connections to, right? They're like, yeah, we know these people and they will stream the game. And then they're like, sure, that's what the last 3 projects we backed said. And then the streamers were small or weren't really there or weren't really into it or whatever.
Yeah.
The impression that I have when it comes to sales in general, it's not a field I'm into at all. It really, I think the impression that I've got from hearing people talk about sales is that it's a lot of laying it on thick or flat out straight up lying to try to get funding for stuff. And that means if you're honest, that sucks for the people that are honest and actually have something worth selling, is that people are just so jaded from, sure, it's another person that says they're going to get 1 million impressions on this video. Sure thing, buddy. The last person that said that made 1K impressions, right? And just conjured numbers out of thin air.
That is why I've always been...
I think you're fighting that.
I've always been such a bad salesman. This even goes back to like when I worked at a company like GoDaddy, which you're supposed to be tech support and selling, refuse to sell. I just can't be dishonest. Like I'm honest to a fault.
I had the same for me. I could not. I could never do that.
But the thing is,
I can't get myself to it.
When I'm honest about, like, like you said, we have all these connections. Maybe it does sound like bullshit. I don't fucking know. It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's really weird.
It's possible. Maybe it sounds too good to be true because they're like, well, none of the other stuff that we've looked at had this, so they're just, they're making shit up to try to get money, right?
Yeah.
I think right now, without knowing too much, but you should know this better, is that, like you said, with funding games, there's a lot of games in recent couple of years where there's been like disasters or just, drama about games that never got released or where funding was just rug pulling, right? I think maybe some of the people posting money into stuff are really careful right now because of the frequency of rug pulls there's been in the last couple of years in some titles that were meant to be quite big that then never even got released, right? Where there were millions.
Well, I'm hoping that the game ends up being even just a mild success. It doesn't need to blow anything out of the water, but to get our money back and then we can continue to grow the company. That'll be awesome. Like that's what I want. Yeah. And if I don't have to sell part of the company to be able to, because we can still afford to technically just fund the rest of the way. It's just starting to hurt a bit.
It's expensive to make a game like this.
All my Dota paychecks now are just going straight to the game at this point. So it is what it is. But yeah, excited. So it should be a fun beta coming up. It'll be an extended one, probably 6 months minimum is my guess, but we'll see.
Do you have like a roadmap for streaming? Because you said when people get access, you don't want them to show the game. Do you have an idea of when you're expecting people to be able to stream?
No, I have no clue. I think we could end up just doing, because I've been learning more about what you're allowed and not allowed to do. Apparently, you're not allowed to, because basically we were having this closed beta, right, which is just for the Kickstarter people. But then there's a bunch of people that are like, oh, I missed the Kickstarter, so can I buy my way in? And I'm like, well, I'm open to the idea of buying your way in if you're paying the same amount that the Kickstarter people paid, except you don't get any of the Kickstarter stuff. And they're like, generally the reaction has been, yeah, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure that's not allowed if the game's not out yet. So that's where it makes it a bit awkward for us. So I think maybe, and I haven't really talked to Jenkins about it, but maybe down the line, like 3-4 months into the beta, we do like an early access type of deal, because then it's allowed to be that way.
Right.
But not sure. We'll see. But yeah, learning a lot for sure.
Well, if that's a formality, you could technically sell early access at any point at the price that you.
Well, that's the thing that doesn't make sense. Like Kickstarter, you're giving early access. Like I don't understand the difference, but with Steam rules, they're hard against it.
Probably some sort of legality thing that has nothing to do with Steam. Maybe their hands are just tied with some federal law, or whatever.
Whatever. Custom. I'm not going to mess with that shit
or whatnot.
I ain't messing
don't
with that shit.
With that. No.
Okay. That does it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. Thanks for showing up every week, Cinderin.
Yeah, my pleasure, Sam, and I'm happy you show up too. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be kind of weird.
Thanks for the $200 steak. It was really good. All right, see you guys.
Yeah, great. Bye.
We say things that don't mean anything,
Subscribe.
but thanks for listening.